Hello, hello, hello. It's coffee time again, isn't it? Doing that. We're doing it all again. Oh no. I wonder what the news is today. I'll have a look at the Daily Mail website just to see if there's any news. I won't be covering that. The top story is this collision. A Land Rover has crashed into a school in Wimbledon. A number of adults, 7 children, 2 adults to be injured. Yeah, it's not looking good there. So yeah, we'll move on from that. Meanwhile, surprise, surprise, this is Stephen Lawrence news again. For those who don't remember, Stephen Lawrence was the young black man who was killed in 1993, murdered. It's been announced that 4 retired Met Police detectives who are accused of misconduct won't face any criminal charges because of insufficient evidence, as the CPS. Well, there's no surprise. Again, police corruption is the main reason that case got bodged. You're telling me that the various South London crime families involved there didn't pay them off? That's what I say. And yeah, there still has never been any justice for Stephen Lawrence, and that's the world we live in. These are pretty miserable stories so far. Do you live in a burglary hotspot? Right, there we go. Remember, what's a hot spot? Not a good spot. Oh, someone just followed me on the new social media thing called Threads. It's launched, which is, it's got a kind of little curly pube kind of logo. So follow me on Threads. I don't know how. I'm not posting. I've just a picture of me having a beer. That's the only picture. Anyway, there you go. Are you in a burglary hotspot? What's a hotspot? Not a good spot. Meanwhile, Emma Meller from Shropshire, right? She wasn't particularly happy. Why wasn't she happy? Let's have a look. Oh, something for the dads. Something for the dads there. She wasn't happy because the school sent her the price of a trip for her son. 11-year-old son is going to Krakow in Poland, and there are 40 places to the trip, and they're charging £799, 3-night trip to Krakow, and she wasn't too happy, so she sent an angry email back to them. Because it's ridiculous. Again, we've had it here. There's been trips they want. It's like, no, not doing it. The large fee covered return flights, coach transfers to Manchester Airport, and a 3-night stay in Krakow hotel, and excursions including a visit to Auschwitz-Birkenau. Fun for all the family, but yeah, they had to pay a non-refundable £300 deposit. And again, with the cost of living crisis, it gets a bit silly. Miss Miller said, "I was shocked when I saw that it was £800 for 3 nights. For this sort of money, we could go on a nice family holiday in a caravan for 5 days. Or we could splash out and go on a weekend away, all 6 of us, to Centre Parks. I'd rather spend my money on doing something for the whole family." Indeed. Of course, in our day, we didn't have trips. We didn't have trips. They used to take us to, was it Suntrap? Who remembers? Nobody remembers that. It's a very long time ago. Mrs. remember. I think Mrs. went to Suntrap, didn't you? But it was up at Epping Forest. Didn't cost us anything though. But yeah, school trips are expensive. Meanwhile, do you remember that submarine that they named after the Titanic, called the Titan? Fancy naming it after the thing that sunk. Stockton Rush, the guy behind it, the CEO of Ocean Gate Expedition. He talked about his submarine. Here he is. Would you go on a submarine trip with a man like this? Well, not anymore. You can't, because they're still trying to scrape him off the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, he in a video talking about the assembly of the sub, the Ocean Gate Titan. Here it is. He described it. It was held together with glue. Yeah, but not your regular kind of glue. No, it had the consistency like peanut butter. So there you go. Now I've got visions of the whole thing being held together by peanut butter. Yeah, it was thicker than Elmer's glue. That's a type of glue, but more like the consistency of peanut butter. I wonder if he knew what he was doing. I'm beginning to think he didn't. Obviously, it wasn't strong enough to hold the submersible together. So you might have want to use some of that other kind of glue. What else have we got? Let's talk council news. We're going down to Swanage in Dorset. A suburban street has been likened to a jungle because the local council have given up. Yeah, despite repeated requests to the local council to cut back the overgrowth sprouting from the trunks of mature lime trees, and nothing has been done. And again, it's blocking people's paths. They can't get through. And it's like going through the Amazon. And people are outraged. Here she is. This is Ms. Priest. She's going, hello there, peekaboo. But yeah, she has to push back mountains of foliage to get through with her dog. And here she is. Oh, this is a real melodramatic face pulling there. But yeah, they're kind of following the example of Brighton, who've given up cleaning up the streets, and they've actually in Brighton they don't clear any of the weeds anymore because of ecology. Instead, I think they're telling the local residents, tax-paying residents, I might add, to clean up the weeds themselves, because that's the world we live in. Meanwhile, another council has been the cause of outrage. Yeah, this is a new pedestrianised zone in Wolverhampton. The idea was to cut traffic, and yeah, I mean it looks okay, but when you get down to ground level, you can see there's a very small curb there. Just that tiny little curb. Well, that curb is a trip hazard, and people are saying it's a hidden curb and not plainly visible. Yeah, this is a £15 million pedestrianised zone, and it's been branded as absolutely balmy. A hidden curb installed to help blind people, obviously if they tap it with their stick they'll hear it, has caused dozens of injuries for everyone else. The new zone in Wolverhampton was intended to cut traffic pollution and encourage people to walk, cycle in the city centre, but there's a low curb in the middle of the highway for the blind and partially sighted people to tap their sticks to help them navigate it. But yeah, it's backfired, with dozens of people, including councillors themselves, complaining, calling the curb dangerous trip hazard just 6 weeks after opening. One shop said, "It's crazy. I came out of Manda shopping centre with a few bags, crossed the road and almost went flat on my face as I didn't see the curb." And you know, people stepping over it. So yeah, be careful out there. Just stay at home. Don't want to fall over. Don't want to do like me. Meanwhile, shopkeeper Pram Alak, who's 60, said, "It's an awful waste of money to spend on just one road. Every day I see people struggling to cross the road and almost lose their footing. It's ridiculous and makes the area a laughing stock." So there we go. It's and here he is. Here's Mr. Mr. Pram Alak, standing. Look at him, with his arms folded. He's not a happy bunny. There you go. The councils can't do anything right, can they? Got some more Just Stop Oil people. This is a slow march in central London. This is Blackfriars Road and Tower Bridge. And of course people are they're shouting out help. They're just giving them advice. Get out of the road. And being friendly. You know? Being friendly. But now this is an interesting turn up. Who remembers Swampy? Now there's an eco warrior I can get behind. But Swampy, he's the veteran eco warrior. His real name's Daniel Hooper. He's joined a moderate alternative group of eco protesters. Here he is now. Here's Swampy now. He looks quite respectable, doesn't he? Do you remember when he used to dig tunnels and chain himself to trees? Like I said, he's an eco warrior I can get behind, a man of principle. But he rejects the tactics of Just Stop Oil. You know, the 50-year-old has joined the Climate Majority Project, and they reject disruptive methods used by Extinction Rebellion and Just Stop Oil. And instead they're promoting action in politics. Well, again, this is where change is going to happen. The group also features Chris Packham among its members, so that's more like it, isn't it? But yeah, he's not a fan. He said the type of direct action I would do would be to hold companies accountable for causing environmental damage. That particular action isn't holding people accountable. It's got people talking about it. See, so it's a difference. And here he is, all those years ago, in a tunnel that he built near the A30 in Devon. Yeah, good old Swampy. Good to see he's still carrying on. Meanwhile, we've got some pictures inside Yevgeny Prigozhin's mansion. Yeah. Remember, he's the guy that led the Wagner Group into Russia. He was gonna tell him what for, but then I think they made him an offer. It's quite a nice place. Look inside his base. Look at that. He's got a great. I wonder if he plays it. I bet he comes sweeping down those stairs in his favourite ball gown. I'll tell you what he has got. He's got an envious, a collection of syrup of figs. Well, look at those syrups that you'd be envious of. Look at that. Yeah, you envious of that? But I'll tell you what, you're not envious. A framed photo of severed heads of his enemies on the wall. You wouldn't be envious of that, would you? No, not really. But he's always got weapons. Oh yeah. So there, weapons and money and wigs. Weapons, wigs, money. And here he is, showing he's a real man of mystery, wearing various disguises. Look. This is that's Sacha Baron Cohen, isn't it? So yeah, and this is the security services raiding the offices in the state of Yevgeny Prigozhin. But I like the disguises. I think I might get some of those wigs myself. Could be good. Meanwhile, court news. This is the story of Jaswant Singh Chally. He decided he was going to kill the Queen, like you do. He's been found guilty of treason. You don't get found guilty of treason very often anymore. But yeah, the 21-year-old was caught with the crossbow in the grounds of Windsor Castle. Okay, that's one aspect of it, but the real interesting aspect of it, here he is being caught because he's an idiot. But the real interesting aspect of this case is he used, I guess you call it a chatbot. He had an AI chatbot girlfriend, which he'd talked to, and it basically encouraged him to do it. The code affirmed him and said, "Yes, you can kill the Queen," and so it fed into his delusional state of mind. So yeah, the chatbot told him to do it. I mean, God, what a world we live in. It's a really odd world. And yeah, that's the weapon he was caught with. But yeah, I think that was his defence. The chatbot told him to do it. If you think you're having a bad day, you're not this fella. This is in Beedman Street in Norwood, South London, right? And we've got a little video clip here. We're going to wait for it to turn around. But yeah, basically the car was lifted out of the way. They drew lines. See, it's been lifted. Then they drew a yellow line, and then it got a ticket. James D says he drove to work as usual, parking his red Vauxhall Zafira. And when he came back, he was shocked to find he had a parking ticket. Don't park on it. Don't park on the yellow line, even if it doesn't exist. Yeah. Meanwhile, tourism news, don't go anywhere. This is a story of 3 Chinese nationals who were on holiday in Phuket. I think that's how you say it. That's in Thailand, right? They've been on an organised diving trip from Koh Rash Island, close to the holiday resort of Phuket, and they took a picture of themselves having fun. Unfortunately, what they did there was disturbed a protected coral reef, waving a starfish around for selfies, and now they're facing 2 years in jail because that's not a good thing. Yeah, in a Facebook post, Thai Environment Minister Varawut Silpa Archer stated the 2 admitted the crime after handing themselves into police. The third suspect has apparently since gone missing. But yeah, if found guilty, the visitors could find themselves facing 2 years in prison and a fine of just under £5,000. The 2-month-old travel company that organised the trip apologised for the stunt, and the operator promised to raise awareness about not interfering with marine wildlife whilst going on these dives. Yeah, there you go. It's like that guy. Is that Brit who done for graffiti? I'm gonna see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find the story now because it's an old story now. But yeah, there's the fella who was in Italy and wrote his name on the wall and got pulled in for it. I don't know if I can find it. No, it's an old story. Anyway, he wrote a letter of apology saying that he didn't realise that the wall was old, and they said, "You're an idiot," which was fine. Good news. This is a good story. This is the story of James Howard Jones, not Howard Jones, not the pop star, synth pop star of the 80s, but James Howard Jones. He was attacked by Ben Davis, right? And he was declared brain dead. Just trying to find a picture. And he was about to turn off the machine. He was just about to turn off his life support when he woke up. Yeah. But unfortunately, he remains severely mentally and physically handicapped and will need care for the rest of his life. This was announced at Gloucester Crown Court in Cheltenham on Tuesday, because his attacker, Ben Davis, admitted of inflicting grievous bodily harm with intent and was jailed for 2 years and 4 months. And James, it was one of those one punch attacks. He fell back and hit his head on the pavement. Again, his attacker should be thankful that he didn't die, because then he would have been charged for murder. But yeah, what a miracle, eh? He woke up just at the last minute. Meanwhile, here's a story, you're going to like this one. A 25-year-old man went missing. Right, so he was missing for 8 years. Right, Rudy Farias. He went missing, and here he is. This is an old picture of him when he was 17 years old. Apparently, his mother reported him missing, and it was a big mystery. He turned up. He turned up. Yeah. He was found dishevelled outside a church in Houston, Texas last week. Right? And his mother declared it a miracle. Janie Santana, she said it was a miracle a missing son had been found, and claimed he was non-verbal. Yeah, obviously suffering from maybe PTSD, who knows what he'd been through all those years, 8 years missing. But the story has gone a bit weird, because that's what we come here for. Farias has accused his mother of holding him captive, right, and abusing him, forcing him to play daddy while naked in bed, treating him like a slave, and giving him hallucinogenic drugs. Yeah. So there you go. And this is his mother, who he's accused of. He's accused her of sexually abusing him for years. So is this? Again, they're trying to get to the bottom of the story. Is it true? Is it all a fantasy? Who knows? I mean, she says he went missing. Yeah? So we have to keep an eye on that story. What really happened? And here is a picture of him recovering from his ordeal. What a strange story. Right, let's go to the funny. Let's go to the funny folder. I've got some funny ones. Honest, got some funny. You'll like these ones. Boobity. What should we start with? Let's go to. I think we need to lower the tone. Let's go to Texas. Yeah, this is footage of an unnamed woman, right, in 6th Street in Austin, Texas, and it's some pretty odd footage, and I don't know if she's worse for wear or whatever, but she's laying on the ground, covering herself in horse shit. Yeah, and apparently enjoying it. And nobody knows why. Yeah, she really enjoyed that horse shit. Dear. No, the world's a weird place, isn't it? It's not just me, is it? Yeah. Shocked onlookers flocked to film the woman as she lathered herself in the manure. Yeah. Or maybe it's an art piece. I don't know. This is the world we're living in. Yeah. Oh, I found the Italian graffiti story. I had it in my funny folder. Yeah, this fella he scratched in his name, Ivan, and his girlfriend's name into the stone walls of a building that's 1,937 years old, using a set of keys. Well, they've found him now, and yeah, he's going to get charged for it. But he wrote a letter saying he didn't realise just how old the building was. That's his defence. That was last month. That was, yeah, the Colosseum was in Rome. He didn't know how old the Colosseum was. Here's a picture of the Colosseum. If you don't know what it looks like, don't carve your name into the Colosseum. You might think, right, I'm a bit of a loafer. You might think I'm a bit of a layabout. But I've got someone who easily trumps that. And we're going back to it, Italy. This is the story of Cinzia Paolina Di Leo, right? Here she is, and she's a teacher, right? She was employed at a secondary school near Venice to teach literature and philosophy. Right? And in the 24 years that she worked there, she only turned up, right? 4 of those years. Yeah, she for 20 years she dodged work using sick leave, holiday, and various permits to attend conferences. She's been dubbed Italy's worst employee, right? And she was finally sacked last month. Yeah. Apparently, yeah. Even on a rare occurrence, when she did turn up to work to teach, the pupils went on strike because she gave out grades out randomly and didn't have copies of the textbooks that they were using. So pretty disgusted with her. When a journalist approached her for comment, she said she couldn't because she was at the beach. Oh dear. So that's not bad going, isn't it? 20 years on the lam. That's not bad going. Yeah, okay then. You like that one? You like that score? Yeah. Right, do you want some stupid? Let's do some stupid. We're going to London for a fresh dose of stupid. Well, this poster for a comedy show has been banned. This poster here, right? It's been banned. You're probably thinking, why is it banned? How did it upset people? Well, it's fallen foul of the rules that they have. Transport for London have rules, right? Rules for adverts, and the advert's been prohibited because it breaks the guidance designed to reduce children's exposure to sugary and fatty foods. And yeah, Transport London bans any posters that directly or indirectly promotes food that is high in fat, salt and sugar. And because the poster features a wedding cake, it's been banned. Because, you know, I don't know about you, but, you know, whenever you see kids coming out of school, you often see them rush to the nearest wedding cake shop to buy a full 3-tier wedding cake to eat. Yeah, stupid. Paul Gregg, the theatre impresario behind the show, said it was a ridiculous decision. He said, I've never dreamed it would be a problem. We've now reached a point where a poster can be banned because it features a cake. It's ridiculous and just makes everything hard work. Indeed. So there you go. Can't put a cake on a poster. Silly, innit? Have I done enough yet? How about some garden news? Now I've always said don't do gardening. Don't do gardening. We're going to Thailand, right? Praditsin Chupad, right? He was hired to cut some grass in a park in Thailand, right? And the 39-year-old had been working when he had a terrible accident, right? The blade came off his strimmer. Oh, it's terrible, right? It broke off and it flew off and severed his penis, causing severe blood loss. And officers found his body. Right? The strimmer was located next to the broken metal cutting blade. And the garden tool was covered in blood. It was recovered from the scene. His genitals were reported to be cut and a deep wound was discovered in his left groin. And the injury was so severe it led to significant blood loss. So there you go. Don't do any gardening, because the strimmer could cut off your penis. There you go. That's it. Another reason not to garden. What a terrible story. What a terrible story. Now, how many animal stories do you want? I've got so many. Okay, we'll do this one. This is an old one. We're going to do bear versus pig. Right. This is a story of a little pig called Barbecue. Right. This is in Vancouver Island. Right. Back last month. And a bear came into the farmyard on Vancouver Island, and there is some footage here. Just got to make sure there's no advert, because you never know. There's an advert. There's always an advert, isn't there? This is kazoo for kazoo, but we don't want that. So we're going to discover black bear versus pig. Who's the winner? So you can see the bear there, and there's the pig, and the pig goes in for the attack. And I think we're getting round two. I think the bear's not too impressed, and he's kind of going, "Hey, pig, that'll do, pig," he's saying. And the other animal was a little bit scared. On the right side screen, you've got the goats. The goats are a little bit nervous, but Barbecue, we've got a close up now of the incident. Hey, what a brave pig! So I think we'll say we'll give that one to the pig, eh? Or is it a draw? It's hard to say. I think he's just saying, "Cool it, man, cool it, pig." So bear versus pig. I think it's a draw. I think we give it a draw. But hey, let's have a happy story, right? Let's go to Mexico. Let's go to San Pedro Huamelula, right? It's a town of indigenous Chontal people in the Tehuantepec Isthmus of Mexico, right? And Victor Hugo Souza, who's the mayor there, he got married. He had a lovely wedding. And shall we see his wedding? Let's go to his wedding. Yeah, he married a caiman, which is a small crocodile. Yeah. It wasn't a long wedding. It was pretty snappy. Yeah. And here he is, kissing the bride. See, you'll never complain about her indoors again. Now, you'll. Apparently, it's a tradition. It's no, he's not. He's not one of those funny people. It's actually a tradition that they have. It's yeah. It's a tradition. Yeah, marriage between a man and a female caiman has happened in San Pedro Guatemala for 230 years to commemorate the day the two indigenous groups came to peace with a marriage. So there you go. They've it's a traditional marriage that they do. So tradition, and I think we'll call it quits there. There we go. Got a nice animal story for you. So is anybody in? 6 people in. God blimey, I've scared everyone off. John's in. John's back. Jez is in. He says good day. How many people are going to play the AI card from now on? Everyone. AI. Do you know what? AI made me do coffee time. Did you know that? Run's in. He says hi. Fasano's in. It says every little thing today, which is still little. Run says, wow, I'm off to teach English in Italy. Exactly. Fasano says, my grass needs mowing, and I enjoy a putter in the garden. Well, you might wear a codpiece or a cup. You know, I wouldn't want to see little Fasano be chopped off in a freak strimmer accident. It can happen. It can happen. Just remember what happened in Thailand. You know, when they said it only needed a little bit taken off, he didn't realise it was going to be that little bit that was going to be taken off. So anyway, we're going to end it there. I think I've warped your minds enough with today's news. Killing the channel one video at a time. That was the news. You know, got to drink it up. Ta-ta.